Okay.
This is fun.
This is my first time being in the same room with Lisa, so it's a special time.
And this is Lisa Kim. She is a broker here at our office at Keller Williams, Greater Seattle, and I have dubbed you the new construction queen.
Ooh. Oh my God, yeah. I feel like that doesn't feel like it hits it all, just because it's been impressive to watch your stats come through. I'm like, wow, go girl.
No doubt. So Kat and I do this like fangirling thing where like we will notice other brokers who are like
killing
really
it,
hustling, and we'll sit down and be like, what is she doing?
Yeah, even right now, after I met Lisa and she walked out of the room to go get her cute beverage, I was like, oh my God, I have a girl crush on her immediately. Because
we want her here with us in the podcast.
Well, thank you. You two are so lovely, and I'm so freaking excited that you asked me to do this. I love being able to share energy with other women that are also badasses.
Heck yes. I think that's like underlying everything we do.
Have to come together.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I had that conversation yesterday with one of my lender. You're funny. I can't not. You just. This is why a world of all women would work, but a world of all men would not work, right? Like this works.
We're all gonna come together. I'm sorry, this is not.
It's okay.
No, we're very professional.
We're super professional. We are dialed in.
We're talking about new construction, women, and it's hot.
Yeah.
It's a hot topic.
Cheers.
Here in Seattle.
Oh.
Yeah.
Girl energy.
Is this like our powers unite?
Yeah. And you know why. You know why it's the triangle. It's fun.
We did introduce you. We know that you're an agent at Keller Williams, Greater Seattle, but tell us who you are in addition to that, besides just an agent. What would you like our listeners and viewers to know about you?
I really want people to know that I love empowering other people. That's what gets me super excited. That's why I do what I do. I thought I was going to go into life coaching before I went into real estate.
Oh my gosh, stop it.
Yeah.
I was a coach.
No, ma'am. I've never been a coach. No, not at all.
Okay, no.
Okay. Wrong cat.
The other cat.
Yeah, that's the wrong cat. No, but I was in behavioral health for a lot of years.
There
Probably
you
why
go.
she's thinking
that. Yeah. So it's people dynamics, and you go into this kind of like people related stuff because you care and love people so deeply, and so that's my past life used to be in HR.
Okay.
And then migrating that over into this next world where I was like, maybe I go into life coaching, and then I decided, no, I'm going to go into real estate because it scares the shit out of me.
Heck yes.
And I decide I'm going to take a step forward because I would much rather do that than listen to all of the voices of like how you're not good enough, you're not going to be capable enough.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, nope, I'm going to step into my bad bitch era.
Yep. I'm gonna go be uncomfortable and figure it out and grow.
And then I'm gonna help other people to do the same thing.
Yes.
With buying their next house, selling the first house, becoming an investor, becoming somebody that wants to create this large dream for themselves. That's why I do what I do.
Love it. Yeah, then you're in the right place because I love all of that. How are you feeling about it? Look at you.
Oh no, absolutely. I believe the same thing. I worked with people too, and I think that there is a diverse group of agents, some of whom are really just focused on the business of growing and making money. And then there's others who are deeply people-centered. And I think that those make truly great agents because it's a journey, right? This home buying process, it's a journey, and it doesn't just stop when you buy the home, because a great agent becomes part of your journey to wealth along the road. So I love it. I'm so grateful you had the time to come and tell us about it, because I think there's so much that you can teach us. And that's the other piece of it, is there are so many different kinds of products here in Seattle, and there's so much that you could dive into. But what I think you've done really well is kind of focus in on some of those newer developers who have high-end products. Very, very luxury construction homes. And so I'm just so curious as to how you met those sellers or builders or developers, and what buyers are kind of looking for when it comes to new construction in 2026 in Seattle? Because we have nowhere left to build unless you knock something down. You're dealing with like these one brand new home on a block that's much more well developed. So I guess my roundabout question is what is it about new builds in 2026 that has buyers so excited?
I think it's a little bit of the same story of why people are attracted to new builds in 2025, 2024, et cetera. There's a lot of uncertainty everywhere in the rest of our world, and I think people are looking for something that feels lighter, easier, less scary, less risky.
Yeah.
And then for a lot of, especially first-time home buyers or even downsizers, it's like, I don't want to deal with an old house. I love old houses.
Yeah.
Oh, same.
I love old houses.
Yeah.
But it comes with a little bit of, okay, there's some uncertainty that I'm going to have to navigate. How the heck do I fix X, Y, Z? That people just don't have the emotional bandwidth or the energy because of work and whatever else is going on in life. And so they just want something easy. And so that's what new construction is able to offer. And then the other piece is because of where we are in the entire grand cycle of real estate, new construction right now, there's a lot of inventory. And
Even in new construction.
Specifically in new construction.
Okay.
Right? Because permitting activity shot up like crazy when interest rates were down.
Yeah.
Takes about a year and a half to 2 years for those projects to come to completion.
Right.
Fast forward, we kind of hit the spike last year of when those projects completed, and now they are starting to, it's slowing down, but we still have more projects. It's just the rate of growth has slowed down.
Yeah.
So now we have all these inventory of all these townhouses that look similar-ish, and just new construction generally that builders still need to sell. The inventory was determined 2 years ago when they bought the land.
Right.
When they didn't know interest rates were going to be
What they
where
are
they
now.
are right now. And so what I love is that new construction is giving buyers the ability to negotiate in ways that they otherwise wouldn't.
Yeah.
Okay, so we talked a little bit about how much inventory there is on the market, but let's break that down a little bit because here in Seattle, we are in a housing crisis, and what they've done is they've kind of pulled back on what they will allow for single-family residences and occupancy to try and increase the amount of development that we can do in the city, because 60% of the homes are zoned single-family, which in a major metropolitan city, it just doesn't work. There isn't enough for everybody. So when we're looking at new construction, we do have these developed neighborhoods kind of on the south and north end where there's still lots to develop on. But in King County specifically, we have homes that are being teared down and a new build is going up. Or we have homes that are being teared down and we are seeing townhomes. And then in the last little pocket of it, we've got these retrofitted ADUs, detached accessory dwelling units that are also being put in. What are we seeing the most of, and what are your clients looking for?
I think it really varies by the client. Right? There's still a lot of preferences that are at play here. Some people don't want a standalone. They feel overwhelmed by it, or they don't want the maintenance of it. And other people, they want the private. They've got dogs. They want to make sure that when their husky is howling, they're not going to have their neighbors upset about it. So it's all really dependent on what they're looking for and where they want to live. Sometimes if they want to live in like an area like Queen Anne or in the heart of Ballard or Wallingford, it's going to be a townhouse versus a standalone home.
Because the price point there is so high.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And especially for first-time home buyers, it's a great way to get in.
Yeah.
It's a really, really great way. I see a lot of infill development right now. So houses.
I feel like some of the developers that you work with have done really well at infill development, like very classic pieces that don't look like a lot of the other new construction. How did you meet those builders?
Simply just because I'm touring and looking at inventory. And when I see something interesting, I go look at it because I'm looking on behalf of my clients.
Yeah.
or I'm touring with my clients, and then I get to learn more about who those different builders are, and then I get connected with them.
Yeah,
So,
real estate's a contact sport, right? You got to get out there
is.
and be talking to people, bumping into people, create those contacts to make that relationship happen.
yeah, exactly. And you start to really, like, when you look at so much new construction, you start to get a feel for how much did they care, how much are corners cut, the standards that they keep.
Yeah, I love that you're saying this, because that was like my burning question that's not up in our notes already. I was hoping you would tell us a little bit about like what you see as an ick when you're in a new construction that you can see hasn't been done and tailored and scaled super well, but it's like a sloppy quick job. Or maybe that's not your ick, maybe you have a different kind of ick, but that's mine. I can tell when I'm done, when I'm doing an open or showing a home for a company that's small but like boutique, right? And there's a lot of quality in it. That is like creme de la creme for me when it comes to new construction. So obviously the opposite is going to be like the sticking point of what I don't like. So I'm curious what it is for you.
Yeah, I think it's the small nuances that when it all comes together, you notice. It's like, was this built and designed for the end user in mind?
Okay.
Did they care about the people that they were building for?
Yeah.
Because if you can feel that, then it's like, oh yeah, you can fit a bed here and still walk past it. Oh, you can open the shower door and it doesn't bang into the wall. The cabinets work. There's enough storage. You start to see the micro decisions that they made that all add up. And turn into this is a really great product that was made for somebody to live comfortably and to have pride in their house, versus something that's like, it's so vanilla throughout.
There we go.
There's no design choices to it.
Style.
Dead space.
That
makes me so upset. It's like, how would I use this space? There's nothing I can do. It's like in between the hallways and like, why?
Yeah.
And it was because there was a fast way to do it and there was a logical way to do it. We went fast.
Yep, exactly. So you can start to see the patterns of decision making with the outcome that's the product, the end product.
Yeah, and you can tell too how people are responding when you're showing that home. Are people feeling like wrapped and hugged by the home? Are they feeling like a little bit of disdain? Like you can tell with body language and obviously with their feedback they're going to give you as the agent. But like something as small as right where your refrigerator is, you usually have kind of a shell that refrigerator is going to fit into, like a frame. On the right side of it, there was no other like counter space, we'll say. On the right side is where you kind of have a small counter and you have your stove and all of that. So on this side of it, rather than just leave it like a clean frame, they built in like a spice rack, a vertical one that was like the height of the fridge, and you could pull it out so it's narrow, right?
I love
but
that.
It was brilliant.
You love that.
It was brilliant because of, it's exactly what you're talking about. Was this new construction was done, an architect came in here, an engineer, whoever's going to put that design together, and thought about this floor plan and the way to maximize the space on it. Because on paper, the square footage, you wouldn't think much, but then you go into that space and you're like, how? How did they do this?
Right? It feels so human. It feels like there is actual care for the person.
Warmth.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
definitely the warmth in there. So I appreciate those things when I'm in a new construction like product, and they're usually coming attached to like what Emily just walked us through, an older home with a large lot that got split and that you had that detached accessory built on there. So they're really nicely done when they're well done. I'm curious, do you find, like if you're partnering with these companies and you're representing the listings on these or the buyer, do you find any kind of feedback from the neighbors, how people are responding? Because I have picked up a little bit here and there. You're in it so much more than me. So I'm wondering how you deal, my friend. How do you deal? Because I'd love to know.
So I feel like Seattleites, there's a lot of reputation that builders have, and there are terrible builders that they're in it solely with the outcome in mind, which is just the money.
Yeah, close.
Right.
Like complete a product, put it on the market, sell the product, make a profit, do it again.
Yeah, the removing the human element from it, right? And then you have the people, it's like, no, the human element is how I create the outcome, right? The focus is different. And I find that people have a lot of experience with the first, right? And so you start to see how people respond to those builders when they're building. Because even as they're like building on sites, like how well do they clean up? How much of a nuisance have they been? And then the neighbors will start to respond, right? And then you get the open house, like the first open house, and then you get the neighbors coming through, and you get people that are like, oh wow, this was really great. You know, meanwhile they've had conversations with the builder all along because it took them like half a year to a year to get it built. Or you get the I'm so angry that this got built.
You get letters to the city being written. You get complaints with the HOA. Like there's other stuff that happens when the neighborhood's not responding well. I think you get both, like you're saying specific to builders, and I think even in certain areas sometimes you might get it. Just if the ignorance alone, right? If people haven't been exposed to both, they wouldn't know the difference. I think people think it's my neighborhood. I don't want this for my neighborhood sometimes if it means like higher densities. I think once they've seen it done well, that defensiveness comes down, and it's like, okay, this is how we're going to make it work. This is how we make living in a city like this work. And it's kind of neat when you see it pulled off well. It's kind of like, kind of a little bit of, I don't want to sound too corny, but I'm like, there's a little hope instilled of like, this model does work in some ways to bring an opportunity for people who wouldn't have it otherwise, right? Like to be able to provide this product that didn't exist just a few years ago.
Yeah, and that's a really good point too, because there's a lot of affordability challenges in Seattle. And this infill is meant to help resolve some of that, right?
Absolutely.
Like we need these houses that are going to be, you know, it's not the first condo that you get, or like the starter home that's like, you know, like $600,000-$700,000. This is like the next level in from there. Or for a lot of people in our market, where there's a lot of tech, this is their first home. You know?
What are some of the perks or benefits or add-ons that you are seeing in 2026 that you would love to kind of be a trend across the board?
You know, I'm thinking about some of the smaller builders. I think sometimes people get scared of like smaller builders, but there's like the local builders where like they build just a handful of houses and a handful of projects at a time, and there's a lot of details and care. Each decision is
that's my favorite.
Oh, I love it so much because you get these beautiful designs that are so thoughtful, and you know, when you have a lot of new construction, they're all looking the same. Think about when you go to sell them, right? And how, like, okay, there's a lot of the same supply and demand, right? There's a lot of supply.
Well, I can tell you one thing I enjoy, like you're talking about like, ooh, the good ones, the sexy ones. So like one of the builders I've worked with will have a very similar floor plan, right? They've got a blueprint, they know it works, they can build a house this size on this lot by doing a 2-level and doing what they need to do with it. But the things I love are what they change about every single one. The tiles are different, the lighting is different, like the fact that there is a little bit of lighting inside the shower, like where you would put your shampoo and your soap, and that's a different tile texture than the surrounding. Like those little things, I'm like, oh, I find so much joy in those. And the lighting really matters. People care a lot about light where we live. So a design that has windows and which ones are looking right into your neighbor's house, like all of that is like something I care for when I'm looking at a new construction home.
I've seen a few arches.
Oh yeah, that's nice. Bring an arch back. We love an arch.
I love it. Getting away from these boxes, we love a modern house, and but you can still add these like beautiful elements that create this charm that you still get from some of these older houses, where it's like, oh, this obviously took a little bit more effort, just a little more effort, but the effect of it is like, ooh.
The punch is good. I will say in Snohomish, old neighborhood, and then this custom builder put these 3 gorgeous homes, and they were like 3,500 square feet and like stunning, beautiful, and they were right next to all these old historic like craftsman or even like colonial style like older looking homes. And then when one of them went for sale, I'm like, it kind of stuck out like a sore thumb. So I really appreciate, like you're saying, like a bit of a blend in the design where okay, great, we've got a mid-century modern that was purchased, they renovated that, they split the lot, they built this little guy back here, the DADU. I like when there's a blend in the style, and it's not going to stick out like you're saying, like that kind of real boxy look. It's like you obviously know that it was stuck there. It's nice like, okay, it's fine if we know it was built, but it'd be great if it blended in and it didn't stick out in like such an awkward way, right? Like we want to keep that like love of our area and kind of maintain that look, so to speak.
I mean, like, I've seen new construction tutors.
Oh my gosh, how cool is that?
Yeah, like full new build. And
Wow,
like,
that's
you get
lovely.
this more from some of these like smaller scale builders.
Absolutely.
So that's an example.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
It warms my heart because of the love of the craft.
Yes.
Right? I think the accusation with like a bigger name is that it's the exact opposite of that. It's the most modern, the most new, the most replicable, and the most like a stamp, right? Punch stamp, like all over that neighborhood.
I think it is the most modern, though. I think that it's the cheapest. I think that it's the easiest to replicate.
It's the easiest to get permitted, right?
Yeah,
because it's like
they have the same design over and over again. I think that that's where you lose the quality. I love the outdoor space that they're doing on these new construction. So I think that that's something that older homes sometimes neglect. Is like you have a great yard, but you haven't done anything with it. But these new construction, they're like, I have all this outdoor space. How do I utilize it in a way that makes living outdoors fun? In the Pacific Northwest. So having like, I don't know, even those pergolas that like slant open.
Fun!
You know?
Oh my gosh! Yeah,
that's the new Pacific Northwest porch.
Yes. Oh my goodness, I've been loving seeing. Okay, we live in a rainy city.
Like so rainy. It is very nice in the summer, but it sucks for like 6 months out of the year.
Yes. And so when I see a builder that's, let's actually build something that is form and function.
Yes.
Both of them together, where you have a covered outdoor space. I'm like, I love this so much because you can use it all year round.
Yeah, I feel like it increases your footprint, but you don't have to pay taxes on it. It's like a win-win-win.
Yeah, one of my favorite builders does do that really well. Like we're talking large sliders, so you really still feel like it's part of the inside of your home because of the visibility. So I like the visibility to it, the covered, and then I want to see like a fireplace out there or lighting. Like I'd like to see both of those things. Yeah, I'd still want to be inside even though I'm outside. That's how I want to feel, is that I'm comfortable out there. Like, is that so much to ask?
But it was like 55 degrees yesterday, so like if you had a covered patio,
you could be out there
in your backyard,
sunbathing.
Catch a little bit of sun on the cheeks. Hey, there you go.
Low.
Oh yeah, you're looking good.
Getting our tan on.
Okay. Another really cool thing about new construction is their ability to kind of reduce interest rates. Have you seen that?
Oh my goodness, this is what I was talking about earlier about some of the really great ability to negotiate. Like with new construction, I mean, interest rates are like right now, they've come down a bit. They're still 6%. I mean, a lot of people, if they previously bought, they have interest rates at 2.5%, 3%, you know, maybe 4, 5. All those still sound really great compared to 6.
It's hard though if you're coming from something so low to move up to that price point, because more often than not you're looking to expand your footprint, so you're looking at a product that is much more expensive naturally because it's larger, and then on top of that you're paying 3 times as much in interest.
Yes.
But you're seeing still, even with the difficulty and the difficulty of the interest rates and the inventory challenges we see, from our realtor perspective, we still see new construction having an advantage that mom and pop down the street who lived in their house for 30 years, like selling their house, they don't have the same advantage as a new construction.
Powerful advantages,
so explain it to
Powerful.
Us.
Tell us.
Explain it to us and our viewers who probably haven't bought a new construction home.
So when we go back to talking about how there's a lot of supply right now of new construction, like that's been sitting in inventory that needs to go. Builders' confidence has a lot to do with how much they're willing to negotiate. And so when builders are not feeling so confident because rates are still higher than they previously have been, they're spending a lot of money each month
holding that product on the market.
Exactly, like thousands and thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
And so it's like, gosh, I need to get this house off my books. And so they're motivated. They are the definition of a motivated seller.
Yeah.
Which is different than some of the older sellers that we are seeing in Seattle who really have just looked at their Zestimate for years and years and believed that that number was gold. You know?
Yeah. And so then on top of that, you have you also have these partnerships, right? When you are a builder that has 8 properties to sell on a single project, well, a mortgage lender might be like, hey, if I partner with them, this is a win-win-win. Let's create some win-win-wins.
Oh, I see where you're
right?
going
And so
with this.
you have, okay, as a builder, I'm motivated to sell. I'm going to be willing to pitch in some money or bring the price down or negotiate to entice a buyer to buy. As a lender, it's like, hey, I'm willing to pitch in too, because if I pitch in,
We can both get this.
Yes, exactly. And it's like, I don't have to work as hard to get new business.
Because it's right here.
It's right here, yeah.
Yeah.
So let me partner with a lender's going to partner with a builder, and then they're going to be able to offer a lower interest rate. They're going to be able to offer a credit to
A preferred lender credit.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is really hip.
Yeah.
What are we seeing? What are we seeing for numbers? How is it
Oh my
different
gosh.
than interest rates
Well,
that other folks are seeing?
In 2025, for example, I had clients that were going in at 1.99% interest rate.
What?
It's absurd. That's
Yeah.
absurd. I love
Yep.
it so much.
So their first year is 1.99. So there's 2 different things. There's like what the actual interest rate is, and then there is a temporary interest rate buy down.
Sure.
Right?
Yep.
So you can buy down the longer term interest rate. So from like 6%.
Using a 3-2-1 or something.
Yeah,
Or a
so that's a
3-2.
temporary, right?
Yeah,
you can buy it down as a temporary interest rate buy down to bring it down for a couple of years. So 3-2-1 would be first year 3% off.
Yep.
Then the second year 2% off. Then 1, and then it reverts back to the
Your actual true number, right? Your
Exactly.
true interest rate when you locked in.
exactly
Whatever year that was
Yeah.
in at whatever rate it was at. Unless
Yes.
you do something,
Yeah.
which we don't need to go into that. But
Yeah, so you can do the temporary rate buy down, that's one tool, but then you layer on top of that, you buy down your other permanent rate. So when you have the builder contributing, you have the lender contributing, you can use it to do sometimes both.
Incredible.
And so that's why I was able to get some clients. We bought down their 7-year ARM to a 4.99% interest rate.
all right.
Right?
So that's 7 years that they would be at 4.99, not including the first year.
Yeah, and then on top of that, we did a 3-2-1 buy down.
On top of that
top of
499.
that.
So that's how we got that
Holy
number,
smokes.
that 1.9.
Yeah.
Isn't that so cool?
Wow.
That is one for the books. That's like one of your best accomplishments for the year, for me, for you. Wait, that's a lot, but you know what I mean? Like, I love... But I mean...
That is your best accomplishment.
For me.
You.
Like if I'm looking at Lisa's resume, that's one of my top 5.
She's gonna, yeah.
That's one of my top 5 favorite
Yeah,
things.
that's for Kat.
Yeah, that's
We'll add
my
in on
favorite
top
for
of that
you.
closing costs. And
Oh
then
my
we're-
gosh, she continues like, what else do you want, Kat? I'll give you more. I'll give you more. Oh my gosh.
So that kind of goes into our next question. The list price is really not the true price. Not in a market like this that's a little bit softer and we have more inventory and money is so expensive to borrow.
It depends.
Yeah.
It depends, because I also had a listing where it's like, okay, like we're 1.7 million on this one. That went up to 1.915 million.
Yeah.
And so it really depends
On the quality of the product.
on the quality of the product. It depends on the demand.
The desirability,
Yeah.
right? Because
Yeah.
people are going to pay, like, I understand that's the price, but if these 3 people both want it, they're going to fight for it if it's a desirable
There's only
product.
one.
Yeah,
That's the uniqueness, right? That's what the uniqueness of real estate is about there, right
Well,
there.
see,
creating
and
the
this
desirability.
is the thing. I think a lot of people, we all have the tools, right? We have Zillow, Redfin. You can use Gemini. You could use ChatGPT, AI to help you do whatever. But there's something to be said about when you see behind the curtains as a realtor and you're seeing how deals are getting negotiated.
Yeah.
You're hearing the conversations that are happening, and then you start to understand what is actually happening in the market. What are the nuances that are going to help you to understand? is this time to escalate? Is this time to ask for a deal? Do you know who the listing agent is? Do you know who is the builder on that side? Because when you start to understand those things, you also understand how those individuals make decisions. Are they going to be offended if you lowball them? Or are they just going to take it and like kick back something that they're comfortable with? Like you start to understand those nuances, and then you just can't get that from Zillow. Nothing.
It matters who you know, and I think that that's been true throughout history. I mean, the people who are in power are there because of who they know.
And just the emotional intelligence aspect of this, that's what I love about our job.
What's your take on best time to buy?
It's always whenever you're ready to buy, because the thing is new construction, they're motivated to sell whenever the project is done. Right? So they're gonna, as soon as it's done, they're ready to go because they're paying money.
Maybe even before it's done.
I mean, even better.
You can walk and actually look at the home pre-construction and pick out some amenities along the way if you wanted to change it up. But there is
absolutely. And a little bit of a tangent, because that's something that I think is really important for people to know. Not all the new construction that's on the MLS, that's Zillow, Redfin, whatever you're seeing, that's not the full inventory. Like builders are going to listing one at a time.
Yes.
Okay.
And so there can be like 9 houses and you're just seeing the one, and they could be a little bit different.
In most of my conversation or in listening to you talk today, I've been thinking about like that boutique size builder. But there is a builder in my area that I do admire quite a bit that's kind of a mid-scale. They're not D.R. Horton big. They're not like 4-pack only. They're kind of somewhere in the middle there, and I really like the product they're putting out. It's a great looking product. My question, or I'm wondering if you can help me with this perspective. So what I see is they've got, we'll say, a development of 20, which is kind of on the small side when you think about a development, and they're gonna show only like 4 houses at a time. So we know that they have these houses that are built, but they're not gonna put them on the market yet. If you're representing the seller, what the strategy is behind that. Because when I'm representing the buyer, I'm like, but I don't want that one, I want that one. I find it difficult sometimes to get that listing agent to cooperate with me when I wanna look over here and they're only wanting me to look over here.
So there's going to be the ones that are completed, but then there's also, you want to sell
the house, right? So let me see the house. If I'm going to buy it, you want me to see the house, don't you?
Yeah. There's a lot of strategy around, you want to list only a few at a time. If you list them all at once, you're going to rack up days on market. Right? And there's also, the longer that something is sitting on the market, the more it starts to be like, oh, well, maybe it's not that sexy of a place, or maybe there's something wrong
backyard
with it.
isn't as big as the one over there.
Like buyers start to kind of wonder about that project or about that specific house.
A bit stale. So like, hey, that's a fair perspective to have, like not something I'm thinking about if I'm just representing the buyer sometimes.
And so you don't want something to feel stale. And then on top of that, every single time you list a new project or a new specific unit on a site, you get new fresh eyes because you've got 0 days on market. And so every single time you have the opportunity to do that, you start to bring in people that are like, oh, new listing. Maybe they just started their search. Oh, new listing. And then they can see all the other available units at the same time. So that's some of the strategy around that. You don't want to list
which is
them
brilliant.
all at once.
Can't be mad about that. Like if I'm the listing agent, of course I'm going to kind of want to hold that a little bit. That's helpful to know though. Like of course I'd want that traffic as the listing agent, like a fresh take, like close this one, immediately list this new one as soon as it's ready, because then it's like we get to have those fresh eyes. Those are new buyers that we didn't see before. Like it's a great opportunity to capitalize on.
All right, Lisa, you ready for your rapid fire round?
All right, let's go.
All right. Question number 1. What is the most underrated area in Seattle for new construction right now, today, 2026?
Maple Leaf.
Ooh, we love Maple Leaf.
Yeah, Maple Leaf is like a solid take, but no, I think you're right that it's underrated. I think that's a great answer because like people would, I feel like normally you say like a bigger, well-known neighborhood. Maple Leaf is like subtly cool.
You have the light rail, you've got like the bottom part of the Maple Leaf Reservoir Park, there's some cute restaurants and cute cafes in that area.
Yeah, it's a hot take right there.
It's close to Green Lake.
Love it. You're like, it's a win, Win.
Win.
Okay, I'll ask the next one. AC, is it happening in all new constructions? Is it a myth? What is air conditioning looking like in new construction right now?
Yeah, I mean, if there's no AC in there, walk away, because that's a builder that's not building for the end user in mind.
Cutting corners.
Yes, exactly.
It's a necessary item in 2026.
Oh my God. Yes,
it is necessary. It's no longer that Seattle is too temperate. No.
I have walked into a new construction site that it was a bigger scale builder in my home area, and I walked in and it was like a couple from out of the area, and they were asking the agent on site about AC, and she was like, where we live, we don't need an AC. And I was just like red flag, guys.
Like
red flag.
flying through
Red flag.
teeth.
Red flag.
What is going on?
A full AC unit, or is it a mini split now?
I'm seeing mini splits.
I see only mini splits these days. I feel like a whole AC unit is like,
it's less expensive. Like people don't want the duct work. Is it?
Well, I think it's easier to do. It's more efficient, so I just feel like it's creating this both. I will say one thing that I do pay attention to, especially when I'm helping a buyer, is where are the AC units, the mini splits, located?
yeah.
Right. Obviously, there
You need
should
to have one on
definitely be
each
one in the living
floor.
room area, right?
Yeah.
Is there one in the primary room? Usually, I'm seeing at least one in the primary room and in the living room area.
Yeah, that's
and then
fair.
from there, it's like, okay, well, are there any others? Like, if there's kids involved in the other bedroom or the office or whatever you're going to be spending a lot of time in, is there AC in those areas?
Yeah. Where do you
All
see
right, where do you see new construction going in the next 12 months here?
Ooh, I love this question, because with House Bill 1110, what's changing is builders are able to build different things on the lot. So you have our typical single-family residential lot where you have a single-family house, then you have the detached accessory dwelling unit, and then you have the attached accessory dwelling unit. ADU, DADU. Now you actually are starting to be able to see up 4 to 6 units on a lot, depending on how close it is to a major transit station.
Bus line and all that good stuff.
Then that's where you get like the 6 units. It's gonna change what we're starting to see like being built, and I don't know what that's gonna quite look like yet, because builders have to start to make sense of it.
Yeah.
They're gonna go through the permitting process, and it's all gonna shake out. But I think that's going to, instead of these 1,000 square foot accessory dwelling units, sometimes they can squeeze 1,200 in there. Using builder math.
Yep.
But
I've seen it. It's sometimes I'm like, where did they do it? How did they do it? Because it's impressive.
Yeah,
With the right floor plan, you can do a lot of really cool things.
Storage, but it's another bedroom. Yeah. But you're going to start to see these middle houses start to increase in size. And so instead of these 1,000 square foot units, maybe you might see like 1,500.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm really excited to see that, because 1,000 square feet is like great. Yeah, it's great for just me, and maybe a significant other. But as soon as there's anything else involved, having a guest room or an office, or it's like, ooh, I can't get away from my other person.
You know what though? I will say like that is incredible change. Like, because we saw like when the House bill came on, and then we've seen it change quickly over the little bit.
I think we are miles behind other metropolitan cities.
We are, friend. Last year was my first time attending Hill Day with Washington Realtors, which is pretty incredible. We go to the Capitol and we advocate for things exactly like what you just described. One of the conversations we had was like, hey, we don't think that this bill should limit the footprint size of this unit on a lot if there's room to do it. We don't think that that it should just be able, the number was becoming arbitrary because it was like too blindly done or too kind of blanketedly done, missing the purpose. The livability of like 1,500 is a huge difference to 1,200, right? Like even those 300 square feet make miles of difference in the livability of a home.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it means you can actually have space for a dining table. I mean, there are some builders that you made magic with 1,000 square feet, but it's hard to do.
It is.
Yeah, it's hard to do.
I love the things that new construction can do that, you know, even if I love an older home, just can't do.
Including offering a warranty, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That part's pretty special too.
1 year.
Okay, well, this was a really fun
So
Yeah, after this, I'm
you were
gonna.
able to come and chat with us and give us all of this great content.
Yeah, after this, I'm gonna get my nails done and get a cute drink and.
Join the Triangle Club.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, thank you for having me. This was a lot
Yeah,
of
thank
fun.
you. This was incredible. We'll definitely need to do this again at some point, right?
I love it.
Thanks for watching us.
Bye.
Bye.